Hi everyone, it's Daniel here. Today I'll be reviewing another album. Which album will it be today? Well, it's going to be another one of my albums, and it is my debut solo album, which is From Beginning to End. So since this album hasn't came out on physical yet, I'm going to leave the front cover up here, and in a second I'm going to show you what the back cover would look like if it came out in physical. So this album came out on the 11th of April 2025. It was meant to come out the week before, but I released it the week after. But, it is what it is, I released it on a Friday, so, yeah, well done. Well done to me. Well done me for doing that. So, yeah. What do I think of this album? I think it's really good. Not bad for a debut. Production began straight after Colours. I wrote one song, released that as a single on Valentine's Day. I was planning on releasing a couple more tracks before the album, but I decided to just send it and just release the whole album as one. Of course, the original mix came out on the 11th of April 2025. And then on the 4th of July, I think, was it the 4th? No, the 11th of July, I released a new mix. So, yeah. Those tracks are still on YouTube. I've unlisted the original mixes because, I get to keep the views, but yeah, only people with the links can see them. But yeah, fair enough. They're still on YouTube. I just prefer the new mixes, Vocals are much quieter, if you get what I mean. And yeah, the production's a lot better. So yeah, and of course I recorded this album in the same place, my room. Yeah, my bedroom. And yeah, pretty much used the same instruments from Colours by the Beams of Light. It's pretty much like, I don't know. It's sort of a follow-up to Colours, but, sort of a tribute to Colours, to be fair. I'll talk about that later, but yeah. The production began January, straight after Colours was released. I think I wrote When I Met You before. We released Colours, and yeah, me and Riley started working on our own solo projects. I don't know where Riley is with his solo stuff, but and yeah. And I had a lot of spare time, and yeah, pretty much took me like 2 to 3 days to record most of these tracks. And I'm going to go through all 10 of these tracks one by one. And also, if you want to class this album as a concept album, then feel free to, because like half of the tracks are part with Sweet, and then half of them are just like their own thing. And yeah, it's like each track is like what I said about Colours. Like, there's something for everyone, If you love soul, then yeah, there's a bit of soul on this album. If you love funk, if you love prog, there's something for everyone on this album. So yeah. If I had to describe this album in like 3 genres, like 3 main categories, I would say this album's a blend of progressive rock, new wave, and funk, or jazz funk. Because obviously I love Level 42, and yeah. Anyways, let's go through each track one by one. So yeah, we're going to start with the opening track, and it's kind of the title track as well, From Beginning, which yeah, I really like this track. Kind of reminds me of Colours Part 2, with the drum machine, and amazing synth brass. I love the synths. That lead synth is pretty much like the vocal of the whole track, and yeah. And that fade out is just, yeah, I love it. I got inspired from the Thomas and Friends Viaduct theme from series 2 and 3. I love that theme, especially the series 2 version. And yeah, I think I did a great job. I love how it goes from major to minor. It's quite interesting. And yeah, I think this track's really good. It's quite slow, a little bit spooky in places, but it's really cool. I love it. And then you get a little bit of guitar at the end, and yeah, it's just really cool. I love this track. Really nice album opener, in my opinion. So, yeah, this track gets a thumbs up from me. And then the next track is My Life, which is pretty much a jam track, Starts off with the drum machine and then slap bass. Quite muted sounding as well. So, yeah. I've improved a lot on my bass playing because I recorded this album in April. Yeah, it started getting warmer, so my hands weren't as cold as they were on Colours. When I was recording instruments for Colours, I had to warm my hands up and stuff. But yeah, just put my hand on the radiator, but not for too long. But yeah, anyways, My Life's a really cool track. It's like a perfect blend of like something you hear on a Motown track. It's a mix of soul and funk, that sort of thing. especially with the drum beat, the bass line, the offbeat guitar. It's pretty much just 2 chords, G and A. And yeah, I love the keyboards as well. That synth solo is really cool. I also used a sampler as well on GarageBand, which, yeah, pretty much it's like how Peter Gabriel used to CMI on his 80s stuff, that sort of thing. So yeah, it's pretty much a certain sample, or like different sample on each track. And yeah, I'll probably go into detail on like what samples I used on this album another time. But yeah, I'd really like to talk about that. And I might even bring the sampler back on Out of the Blue. So yeah, stay tuned, fingers crossed. So yeah, and then My Life Ends, quite an upbeat track, pretty much just a jam session, to be fair. Came up with the lyrics afterwards. And then the next track is After Dark, which is another instrumental. The synth is pretty much a vocal. The bass is tuned in drop D. It starts off with the hi-hat and the kick and the snare. Come in later on with a lot of echo and reverb, I know. Love my echo and reverb. Yeah, and the guitars are quite spooky as well. Yeah, they sound like gremlins, and yeah, I think, yeah. I only played like 4 notes on the guitar, and I think I reversed them both as well, so like, I don't know, I think one of them's forwards and one of them's backwards, I could be wrong, but yeah. I love the synth, it's just such a spooky track. And that explosion sound at the end, that was literally me and me going like that. I know, in front of the SM58, so yeah. I sampled it and then played it low on the keyboard, and yeah, pretty much what Barry Gibb did on the Bee Gees track Tragedy. So yeah, very cool. I love After Dark. It's a fan favourite as well, along with the next track, which is Golden Magic, which is a funk song. I love Golden Magic. First off, I came up with the drum beat. Very simple drum beat, very much like Another One Bites the Dust by Queen. And then came with the bass line, in the key of F sharp minor. And yeah, I just think it's a really funky track. I love the electric piano, and the guitar is really cool, very funky. Just a really funky, cool track, I love it. And yeah, I've started to appreciate it more after releasing the new mix, which was released on its own week after I released the When I Met You new mix. So yeah, and then The Way You Look Tonight would come after Golden Magic. So yeah. So yeah, I love Golden Magic. Interestingly enough, the key change at the end, it's in B flat minor, which, yeah, very odd key change from F sharp minor to B flat minor, which, yeah, I was meant to change it to B, but I think, yeah, I preferred B flat minor because, yeah, it just gives it more of a spooky feel. I know it's a funk song, but then like the track sounds a bit more heavier, not very heavy, but yeah, and the guitar's literally just going instead of going. So yeah, the guitar's coming in more, and yeah, quite an interesting track really. I love the structure of it, and yeah, I think I did a great job. So yeah, I love how I've got a synth bass laying on top of the bass guitar, and bass is doing like hammer-ons and slides, whilst the synth bass is just going dum 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 dum, that sort of thing. So yeah, very cool. And yeah, next track is On the Inside. I love this track, very personal track, I love it. It's just me singing, and yeah, it's literally me on vocals and the keyboards as well. Supporting cast piano and the Washington Credit Street synth. So you've got the supporting cast piano on the left, and then you have the Washington Credit Street synth on the right. So yeah, no, sorry. You've got the supporting cast piano on the right, and then you've got the synth pad on the left. So yeah, pretty much like an orchestra, that sort of thing. So yeah, or a string synth, the ARP synths that they used back in the 70s, that sort of thing. So yeah, I love this track. I think it's really pretty. The intro is great. The I love that. Yeah, and it's pretty much just 2 chords as well, A flat and G flat. So yeah. Very jazzy chords as well, like they're not just a simple A flat and G flat chords, literally they're like completely different. So yeah, I think the track's quite easy enough, and yeah, if you want to do a cover of one of my tracks, then feel free to. Just don't forget to credit me. So yeah, as the songwriter. So yeah, I love On the Inside, just a beautiful song, the way it ends, with that what's it, that bash noise at the end. Yeah, I actually recorded that on a beer bottle, and yeah, just whacked it with a I think What did I whack it on again? Oh, I think it was with my drumstick. Yeah, luckily I didn't smash it, but yeah, made a loud enough noise, and yeah, I used it at the end of on the inside. So yeah, quite a spooky way to end off first half of the album. So yeah, now we're going to talk about the second half. Next track is When I Met You, which is a really cool song. I love the drum loop in it. Recorded on a Roland TR-808, of course on GarageBand. The bass line's great. I love the flanger. I love how I go from fingerstyle to slap bass back to fingerstyle. Really cool. There's only 4 chords in this song, so B flat minor, C minor, D flat and E flat. So yeah, and I love the synth brass. The guitar's pretty cool. Quite simple. I played the guitar fingerstyle as well, trying to be like Mark Knopfler, so you know, why not? This track was actually the first one written for the album, and I released it on Valentine's Day before releasing the album, 2 months nearly. And yeah, I love When I Met You. I think I wrote it before Colours came out, I know. I think it's quite a catchy song. I actually wrote it about someone, and the song's about someone who's friends with someone else. They have feelings for that other person, and yeah. You know, quite a personal song. I think it's cute, but you know, yeah, it is what it is. But I love the synth solo. Yeah, I think the synth solo is great. Definitely sounds very 80s, and I love the cloud shimmer sound which I use for the synth pad in the track. So yeah, gives it quite a galactic feel, that sort of thing. So yeah, I use that keyboard sound quite a lot on this album. So yeah, and on Colours as well, especially on the last few tracks. The next track is Shades of Purple, which I was planning on releasing this track on its own, but you know, another favourite of people's. The synth bass melody is really cool. There is actually real bass, like the slap bass, it's just do-doom, do-doom, and then like, yeah, at the end it actually sounds like a fretless a bit. I don't know how I made it sound like a fretless. It's clearly a fretted bass, but you know, with flanger on it, and yeah, I love it. A very strange song about someone who's addicted to the colour purple, and if they don't see the colour purple in their life, they'll most likely die, you know. It's a strange song. Yeah, it is what it is, and yeah, I think the synth solo is great. You know, there's actually 2 keyboard solos. The one at the end, you know, is pan to the left, and is a sample. You know, me whistling. I know, very cool. I just think it's a really cool track. Bit spooky, funky. You know, a bit of everything. You know, very cool. There is a little bit of guitar in it. It's just literally just 2 notes, and yeah, bit of bending going on as well. You know, just to make the guitar line more fun. But yeah, I love this track a lot, especially the new mix as well. So yeah, great job in Shades of Purple. I'm kind of rapping as well. I'm kind of doing like an accent as well, which yeah, like sort of a Cockney accent, yeah, sort of thing Phil Collins would do on tracks like Who Done It or like China, that sort of thing. But yeah, next track is The Way You Look Tonight. Now that's a pretty song. I love this song. Kind of has like a wrapped around your finger feel. Yeah, it's definitely a new wave track. I love it. The bass line's great. It definitely kind of reminds me of When I Met You as well. So yeah, the guitars are really nice, and yeah, the guitar solo at the end is pretty cute, and yeah, I just think this is a great song. I love it. Yeah, just the keyboards. I picked some of like the best keyboard sounds on GarageBand. So yeah, out of the blue we'll have like different like new keyboard sounds, which of course, and maybe some new instruments as well. We'll see. But yeah, The Way You Look Tonight, another great track. Quite a few of the tracks on the album are quite short, kind of, about 2.5 to 3 minutes. I think a few tracks are about 4 to, yeah, 2 tracks are about 5 minutes, and then like I think Shades of Purple's about 4 minutes. No, Golden Magic's like just over 4 minutes as well. So yeah, the whole album is 35.5 minutes, which yeah, that's sort of short for an album, but you know, perfect length, I guess. So yeah, Where You Look Tonight, great track. Quite a complex drum beat as well if you listen carefully. So I might play the song live, but who knows. Yeah. The next track is Don't Tell Me What to Do, which is the shortest track on the album. It's 1 minute and 50 seconds. Pretty much just another jam track. I reworked on this track a lot. The original version sounded kind of boring, so I was like, let's just make it more fun and funky, you know. Used the Roland TR-808 drum machine again. Came up with a really funky bass line, you know. Do-doom-do-doom-do. Yeah, that literally just starts off the track, and then you get a slap bass, and then you get guitar and the electric piano, or supporting cast piano. That's what it's called in GarageBand. That's probably my favourite keyboard sound in GarageBand. It's pretty much my default sound, to be fair, and I'll probably use it for like later albums because why not? I think this track's pretty fun. I love the chorus as well. Don't follow me everywhere. The muted guitar part and the bass line is really cool. Really cool keyboards. The ending's like quite intense as well, and then the end fades into Two End, which is the closing track of the album and the follow up to From Beginning. So yeah, the first 3 tracks on the album, From Beginning, My Life, and After Dark, and the last 2 tracks, Don't Tell Me What to Do, and Two End are part of a suite. So yeah, that's what I meant. So yeah. If you add up all the tracks together, then it just like, yeah, it's just one whole suite. So yeah, or if you combine From Beginning and Two End together, if you combine them 2 together, you know, the outro from Beginning and the intro to Two End, you know, it's pretty much just one whole thing. So yeah, very cool concept there. Two End is a great track. It starts off quite slow, and then the drums get faster, and then we get some really cool echoey, reverby drums, and yeah, lots of toms. You get a shaker on the right, which has quite a bit of, I use flanger. Yeah, I use flanger for the shaker. Shaker's programmed, but I think it works really well. So yeah, finally knew what I was saying then. But yeah, such a fantastic track. Pretty much used nearly all the instruments on the album. Heavy guitars, really cool slap bass line. I did a Jews harp again, which I showed off last time in my Colours album review. Used pretty much all my favourite synth sounds, all my favourite drum machines, and yeah, and then the track ends. It's pretty much it's pretty much a tribute to Colours, because I end up singing "Colours Are in My Head, Colours in My Soul." The lyrics of Colours. You can hear my voice travelling from the left to the right. You know, quite quiet as well, but yeah, hidden. So yeah. But yeah, Two End is a fantastic track. It might be my favourite track of the album. I think it's progressive, it's fun, it's sort of wacky. I think it's a great track. I think From Beginning to End, great debut album, you know. Definitely a perfect blend of prog, funk, and new wave. So yeah, some of my favourite genres of all time. And then the secret track at the end, which the secret track is pretty much the end of Two End. A little bit of violin, and you hear me singing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. So yeah, and that was meant to be a teaser to the Beams of Light, or Direct Nation's next album, Star City, which yeah, that album probably won't happen, but you know, it is what it is, I guess. But yeah, I think it's still quite haunting. Very similar to how Phil Collins sung Somewhere Over the Rainbow or Over the Rainbow from The Wizard of Oz on his solo album Face Value, which John Martin would later do his own version on his album Sapphire, which came out in 1984, and of course Robin the Frog sung it on the Alice Cooper episode of The Muppet Show. So yeah, but I decided to go with Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. It's in the public domain, so why not? And yeah, I was going to do a cover of Mac the Knife, but I'm not sure if that's in the public domain. I think it is in the US, but I don't know. I don't live in America, I'm British, so yeah. So yeah, that was my review From Beginning to End. So overall, I love it. I love it just as much as Colours. I can't really pick which album I prefer. But yeah, both great. Pretty much From Beginning to End is pretty much Holdovers album, sort of, you know, Holdovers, Leftovers, I don't know. Shades of Purple, the track that, you know, could have been on Colours, but, you know, and maybe Golden Magic as well, you know. I could definitely imagine Riley singing it. So yeah, thank you for watching, everyone. This has been my review of From Beginning to End. If you've listened to this album, do let me know what you think of it. And yeah, I'll leave a link to the entire album in the description. And yeah, hope you enjoy it. So yeah, I will do a review on my EP at some point, which I actually listened to that last night. So yeah, at the time I'm recording this. So yeah, thanks once again, everyone. And yeah, I shall see you all next time. Take it easy, and I'll see you in a bit, like I just said. But yeah, you know, anyways, take care, and bye-bye.